And Dr. Ayn Ralby, who is a maritime law and security expert, is joining us live from Baltimore. Mr. Ayn, appreciate you joining us on the broadcast. First up, Iran is reportedly mulling shutting down the Hormuz Strait. Is the threat legitimate? And if so, what kind of global impact are we looking at?
Legitimate. Iran has had a long history of demonstrating its ability to sanction global maritime commerce by launching maritime attacks. Now, normally when they make those attacks, they're targeted at specific interlocutors. The UK, the US, certain states in the Gulf, including Saudi Arabia and the UAE. But this time they are facing a much more dire situation. And so the possibility of actually creating some kind of blockade of any kind of sort is within reason. The challenge there is that, as you said, a huge amount of global oil and liquefied natural gas commerce traverse that strait every single day. And it would have huge impact on the not just local economies within the region, but globally. The price of oil is tied to the marketplace, and it is not specific to one country or another. And so we would see economic impacts on every sector, because even as oil and gas goes up, everything else, because of transportation needs, cooling needs, heating needs, all rely on that oil and gas as well. And so the economic impact would have a widespread fallout. And so this is a critical situation. It is unclear what Iran intends to do at the moment, but there are a lot of different options it has started to implement in the past and could implement now.
Yes, Dr. Ayn, shifting focus to US airstrikes on nuclear sites in Iran. Would US have taken Iran's possible retaliation into consideration, not just militarily, but on other steps that Iran can possibly take?
Well, certainly one would hope, but it is unclear exactly what the planning for this included. Now, certainly as a tactical operation, this was an incredibly successful mission. But what we often fail to do is understand our adversary or opponent in terms of how they make decisions, how they see the world, and how they would view retaliation. This has been a mistake made with the Houthis, not understanding what motivates them and thus trying to deter them using tactics that actually only embolden them. And so it is very important to not only think of the first order consequences, the immediate retaliation, but some of the second and third order effects. And that is not something that globally we have been very good at doing lately. We have a fantastic ability to focus on tactical and strategic and certainly long-term implications of different actions. So I do not know, but it is certainly a very uncertain picture. It is hard to predict what Iran will do and what some of the other players in the region will do as well.
Yes, and Dr. Ayn, you mentioned about the Houthis. That's exactly what I was coming to. Houthis in the Red Sea. We've seen how Yemen's Houthis in the past have rerouted maritime trade from key routes of the Red Sea. Will this kind of pressure on global community push for both sides to get back on the negotiating table?
Well, it's hard to say what both sides would be in this case. It is many sides because we all have a stake in this. The Houthis have never been ones to negotiate with fair dealing and good faith. So to think that we have any deal at the moment with the Houthis that would be lasting in any way is both naive and unfortunately overly optimistic. The Houthis are at the present time the last remaining major ally and proxy of Iran. They are, however, seeing themselves much more as a player and a hegemon than they are a proxy. And so they're going to be looking out not only for their own interests, but also the possibility of taking advantage of the situation. So this is a very uncertain time. Now, getting them to the table is quite difficult. Unless they feel threatened territorially, they do not necessarily come to the table with any degree of good faith. They are an imperially minded institution and organization, and so they are pushing towards having an empire that is headquartered in Jerusalem. That is why they are so fixated on Israel. And so to get them to the table, they would need to feel that threat. What this may do, however, is bring others to the table to discuss how to approach this in ways that we haven't seen in the past.
Yes, Dr. Ayn, point taken. Just last point before we let you go. In your assessment, what is the best possible outcome at this juncture, with US also now involved in the war, to de-escalate the hostilities between Israel and Iran, and of course, US now in the picture?
Well, de-escalation can't only come from the parties who are involved. This is where we have to see others like Saudi Arabia, Oman, Qatar, UAE, and even other players like India, who have a tremendous stake in this, all bring to the table the desire for de-escalation and the desire for peace. Only by multilateral pushes for peace and de-escalation are we going to see the situation go back towards some degree of stability instead of escalating towards a greater degree of chaos and uncertainty.
Yes. Dr. Ayan Ralby, appreciate you for your time. Thank you for joining us on the broadcast here.
Thank you for having me.